I'm William Muller from Electronite, and you're watching Papa Pete, the Old Guy Gamer.
Well, guys, we're back again for another week of the best of Papa Pete Live. And for this one, I thought I'd go back and dig up two of the shows that were very well watched. People really enjoyed them. Thought I'd bring to you today the 2021 as well as the 2022 Intellivision Homebrew Awards. The shows aren't all that long, frankly. They're about as long combined, a little bit longer maybe than a live stream. But there's a lot of great info with guest stars, like, of course, Jeff from Go Game Goes with me, and Luke, the Intellivision Collector. We got C-Mart on there, and a whole bunch of different people join me. The second year, Aiden Toledo, Carlos Madruga was there. Just a lot of fun. In case you missed them the first time, these were aired in March of 2022, and then again, I think it was like April or May of 2023. Going to set it up as a premiere this time, but I'm afraid I probably won't be able to join you in the chat, although you can interact with each other, which is always a lot of fun, because God willing, I am actually on the plane right now on my way back from PRGE back to little old New Brunswick. So I'm really, I'm sure I had a great time, God willing, and can't wait to be back live next week. I also got a few other interesting things in the works. I'm going to touch bases with some people out at PRGE, maybe do some more interviews in the future, and really looking forward to getting back to the regular video schedule, although this is a trip of a lifetime to go out and get to meet everybody and enjoy the West Coast. First time I've been out to the West Coast, and enjoy this great Portland Retro Gaming Expo with so many people that love the classic games just like I do, including the whole Intellivision community. But anyway, guys, without any further ado, here we go. Let's start right off here with the 2021 Intellivision Homebrew Awards.
Welcome to the 2021 Intellivision Homebrew Awards, hosted by Papa Pete.
You were my love and my friend. I thought the game would never end. You tore out my heart without an behavior that's hard to defend. How could you put me in this position? I really miss my Intellivision, and now I'm bleeding from this incision. I really want my Intellivision. I miss your control and demands. Nothing to do with my hands. I won't leave my house. I'm in hibernation. A loneliness I understand. And so I sit here without ambition. I really need my Intellivision.
Welcome to the 2021 Intellivision Homebrew Awards, live.
Intellivision. I want my Intellivision.
And there we are, guys, live. The 2021 Intellivision Homebrew Awards. Thanks for joining us. I'm Papa Pete, and I'm joined today, see if I point the right direction. We have the Intellivision collector himself, Mr. Luke Boudreau, with us here tonight. And we have Jeff from Go Game Go. Jeff is going to be watching the chat because I see there's lots of chat going on there now, and I don't want to miss anything. He could pop up your comments and your all your kudos for all the great people who are going to be honored here tonight. And thank you very much. Right on. So, hey, let's get right to it. So once again, I asked Luke a couple weeks ago to join me when I did this because I wanted his knowledge with us. You all know Luke as the operator of the Intellivision Collector. I call him the Intellivision Collector, but the IntellivisionCollector.com website where you can go for any of your Intellivision needs. What do you got to say about the Intellivision Collector tonight, Luke?
Pete, tonight's not about the Intellivision Collector. Tonight's about all the programmers, all the people that give us the games, the people that I appreciate. So no advertising for Intellivision Collector, not much talk about it. Let's just focus on them. Understood.
That's great. And Jeff from Go Game Go, if you haven't checked out the Go Game Go channel, join us on Wednesday nights for live streams and all kinds of other gaming stuff on there. So Jeff is on pretty much all of my streams, gives me a hand, and I go on his streams with them a lot too. So recent Intellivision collector, right, Jeff?
That's true. I am. Got
from
over 50
0
games
to 55
or so.
in how many seconds?
Very fast. Yeah, I'm over 50 games now. Pretty good.
Right on. And it's just, the Intellivision system. I mean, whether you're new to it or you're like Luke and I have played it, or I don't know, my whole life basically. I don't remember really not playing. I do remember waiting for it to arrive, but I really don't remember. I don't really remember not playing it. Anyway, guys, chat. Wow, let's look at the chat. Who's in the chat there today? Can you read off some names there, Jeff Force? Who's all in the chat today?
We got E. Buckeye, Anthony Salvaro, Lance Jennings, Michael Hayes, Christopher Westerman, Steve Jones, Intellivision Revolution.
Oh, Rev there. Yep, right on.
Hey, Pete, we got to get Rev on your show soon.
Yeah, I know. Well, we will. We'll do it this spring sometime. We got
to convince him to come on.
He'll come on. We'll do some good stuff. I mean, he's got so much. There's so many things I just want to ask him about because it's really kind of amazing to make these games, right? To be a publisher for these games and a good one at that, right? And somebody else I saw in there earlier, I thought about that, but Coco, I put the bow tie on and she didn't like it very much. She just ripped it off and now she's laid back and see, I could just pull her around. As you can see, she is right here, but she's quite relaxed. Anyway.
So, hey, Pete, I'm seeing a comment in the chat here, and Rev is asking me if I'm wearing a camo shirt. So, no, well, I'm not wearing a camo shirt. My shirt is the Papa Pete shirt.
Whoa.
That is a one-of-a-kind made by a bleach stained right there.
Yeah. It was gifted. Cool. Thank you very much there, Pete. And thank Connor as well. Yeah. I hear that Connor's the one that made it.
Connor made it. Yeah, I gave it to him, and I underestimated him a little bit, so it was too small. So he did his tricks to it. He does shirts like that all the time. I might have worn some in videos. I got some Red Sox shirts and Patriot shirts and other ones that are dyed like that, bleached out, and they're really neat, actually.
Well, thank you, Connor.
Right on. Another one that's in the chat is Mr. Carlos Madruga today as well, actually, and I really wanted to give a special thank you to Carlos for organizing and being the one spearheading these awards this year. I am using notes this year because there's a lot of things I don't want to miss. So I'm sort of not trying to read, but I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything at the same time. And I really wanted to point out to everybody that Carlos took over these awards this year. After several years, a guy, I'm not familiar with him. Luke, I'm sure you are, Walter Pratt, who ran the Game of the Year awards over the last few years. And Carlos took them over this year. We changed them the date. They changed the name, so this is the 2021 Intellivision Homebrew Awards, and that's probably the way it will go from now on. He did a lot of legwork. He did all the work on the web, setting it up. He asked me to do this. He did all the polls on Atari Age. He organized all the charts and stuff that he sent me to do my video to open up the voting campaign. And I really think Carlos deserves a lot of credit for doing that for the entire community. And then sort of on that note, I want to give a special thank to Atari Age because it's the place to be for the Intellivision community in general right now. It is. It's the most knowledgeable Intellivision people in the world. The best information on Intellivision and Intellivision Homebrew is at Atari Age. You've been there a lot longer than I have. What do you have to? Any comments about that, Luke?
Actually, I only joined Atari Age maybe about 3-4 years ago, not that long. But you know, that's where I started, and that's where I started gaining my knowledge. And trolls, there's not that many there. It's all great people, all great people. I've
never really noticed anything. I get comments, and I get messages every once in a while. I met some great people on there. Like, I am not on there a lot, I will honestly say, but I do enjoy going there and just reading through and reading the comments and doing stuff like this. It's a wonderful thing, really. I just love it. And frankly, I want to thank everybody that's here in the chat tonight, interested about these awards and honoring these guys who make the games for us. And frankly, the entire Intellivision community. Generally speaking, all of us in the Intellivision community, we have long histories with the Intellivision system and love the fun and enjoyment that it's brought to us in our youth and still does today, 40 years later, because most of us are all kind of between 40 and 60 and 70. There's lots that age, isn't there, Luke? Different people in the community. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not young anymore, are we?
No, but well, I guess we're only as old as we let ourselves be, right? I'm older than you.
Yeah. I still
Jeff
act
and I
younger
are
than you.
awfully close to the same age.
Yeah, we're really close. Same year.
Same year, and only about 4 weeks apart. And you know, nowhere the dedication that the Intellivision community shows towards their games and the people, nowhere is it shown more than the fact that we had 27 Intellivision Homebrew releases in 2021. That's an incredible number for a 40-year-old system that I played back when I was 12 years old for the first time, right?
That's crazy.
I played when I was 12, but I've never stopped playing it. So, man, it's something else. Another thing about the community itself and the way it's sort of growing now in 2021 is Carlos told me that he saw the figures for all the votes for the last few years, and the number of voters in these categories, the 6 categories this year, was over double what it was last year. So that's a great sign to me for that the community is healthy, strong, and growing, frankly. The last thank you I want to do before we get into things is I have one more huge thank you, and I hope that I can more or less represent the entire community when I say this, but thank you to all the programmers, and thank you to all the graphic designers, the music artists, the packaging designers, and last but not least, certainly to all the publishers out there who produce these games for us 40 years after the system's gone. Thank you all so much. It's ultimately because of these people that keeping this system alive that the homebrew community is so healthy and strong. It's like 27 games in 2021. It's mind-boggling. What do you have to say about that? Any comment on that, Luke?
Well, it's a lot, but I think 2022 is going to have more than 27. If I have anything to do about it, it will.
I think it will too.
Your pocketbook's going to hate me.
Huh? Yeah, yeah, really. I think there will too, because there's so many things that we know that sort of get pushed back to 2022, still to come. Yeah, things we're really, really looking forward to.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that got shelved right now, waiting for boards and stuff like that. Yeah. So there could have been a lot more if the products were available.
Right on. Well, what do you think? Without further ado, should we step on to our first run into our first award?
Yep.
don't forget the customers. Absolutely. Well, that's the entire community, right? We thank the community to start it out, but these guys who program it, make it. Absolutely. I have thanked the community before that, and that includes the customers. I'm a customer. Jeff's a customer. Luke's a customer, for that matter. Luke's a customer and a vendor. But, the entire community is so strong. Simone, thanks for making that comment, though, because you're so right. It's I don't know. I just find so much positivity in it as well. I'm a big guy for being positive and not being negative about a whole lot of things. So I don't know. That's why it's so much fun to be here. Anyway, without any further ado, let's start with our first award. Make sure I find the right spot here. I got to play the video. It is for Best Graphics, which refers to all visual aspects of a nominee, background graphics, use of colors, sprites, animations, etc. And here we go.
You were my love and my friend. I know the day would never end. You tore out my heart without anesthesia. Behavior that's hard to defend.
I'm worried I'm going to mispronounce this, but congratulations to the photo of Godland Third. Congratulations to publisher Kai Magazine and to programmer Oscar Kenneth Albero on winning the 2021 award for Best Graphics. Right on. Congratulations. I want to point out as well, second place in the category goes to Intellivision, and third place goes to the Dr. Porch release Fantasy. Kai Magazine's been creating some amazing games the last while, haven't it? Like, right, Luke? Think of some they put out. And there's some more on the horizon for 2022 as well, right?
There are. Now, unfortunately, the Kai Magazine, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but the Kai Magazine games always use the JLP boards, which were the high capacity boards.
Right.
And those are the ones that are in extreme high demand and low availability.
Gotcha.
And that's the main reason why that game wasn't released in physical form yet. So his games are fantastic. The best graphical ones I've ever seen, but right now they're the hardest to publish. And by the way, that's the one Intellivision game that I'm not even going to try to pronounce because I just can't. I can't do it. The Sorrow of blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. That'll work. We know exactly what you're talking about. I know that, Anyway, but Kai Magazine also, like, there's a game that I've been waiting for watching. I saw the previews a while back, Star Mercenary. And that's coming out, I think, by Electronite, right? But the same thing, waiting for those boards.
It's
we'll
done.
Talk about that a lot.
Waiting for the boards.
Waiting for the boards. I don't know. Yeah, next thing I have on my list, we didn't even get the next thing I put down here was talk about the board shortage, putting back several releases in 2022. It's just been so hard for the publishers, the guys like William and Rev, right? Or any of the publishers to try to get these games out. Like even Rev, I mean, is right now there are no physical games in stock, but it's because of boards.
It is, and there's steps being made to correct that. Yeah, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, I remember I on my channel I do the Intellivision Homebrew Spotlight. If anyone wants to check it out, and I talked about the releases that were supposed to be out in November, and unfortunately they couldn't come out. Robot Army and Infiltrator from Electronite, right? It was unfortunate, but you know what? We'll get the games eventually when we finally get the boards, and it'll just have to wait till 2022. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next award, and that is going to be the Best Sound in Music. And this category refers to the use of, I didn't write the whole thing down, sound effects, music, anything to do with the sounds in the game that contribute to the overall gameplay. So let's take a look and see who won it for Best Sound in Music.
You were my love and my friend. I know the day will never end. You tore out my heart without anesthesia. Behavior that's hard to defend.
Deja vu all over again, huh?
Huh.
That's 2. And congratulations once again to Kai Magazine, as well as John Hassink and Manuel DePico for the sound and music design on the Sorrow of Gadlin III. That's 2 games. Second place in sound and music was a tie, actually, and it was between Dr. Port's Fantasy and Intellivision from Intellivision Revolution. And I know that's already 3, but we'll call those 2, and I'll add the next title as the 3rd anyway, and that was Carlos Madruga's Heli, also published by Intellivision Revolution. That was 3rd, we'll call it. I always loved the sound and music in all the Intellivision games. Like, I thought that was one of the biggest strengths of the original Intellivision system, let alone the technology they can use today to make it that much better. Whether it's a homebrews or not, what are some of your favorite soundtracks? And I did a video just in Intellivision music, and a lot of it was gameplay, some of it was other stuff, but I just love the music surrounding Intellivision. Any comment on that?
You know, the music is great. It's the typical 1980s style music, synthesizer sound, and I love it all. I'm still a big snafu guy for sound. Every time I hear that theme in the background, a huge smile on my face. And all the new homebrews are fantastic. And a big shout out to Aiden Toledo. He's a very, very talented guy when it comes to sound and music for the homebrew community.
I got to ask, okay, Aiden is Yundere.
I can't pronounce that, so yeah, that's why I went with Aiden.
I'm asking you, am I pronouncing it right? I say it in my video, Yundere. Nobody's corrected me. That's a good sign when nobody's corrected me. I actually, the first time I saw that, I was doing my video for Infiltrator for the Indie Homebrew podcast, the very first one I did. And my youngest kid is big into Japanese culture. He wants to move to Japan to teach after college, teach English. And so I said, this looks like a Japanese name. How do you pronounce it? She goes, I would pronounce it Nyundere. So that's what I've done ever since. So it's funny you said that about Aiden, because I had it right here in my notes as well. Let's talk about the work that he's done over the last few years. A lot of different games.
A lot
of different games. Yeah. You know, it's funny, it says Snafu as well. I like to talk about the older games because I always think of Snafu as one of the very first games. Well, it really was. Yet it had, sometimes you think of systems as they develop or as it gets further in, things like the music and the soundtrack get better. But right off the get-go, there aren't many that compare to it, are there?
No, it was groundbreaking at the time.
Yeah.
You know, I compare now the Intellivision games to the new Xbox or PS5 games and stuff. And I watch my stepson play all the time. And, you know, the graphics are great, but the gameplay sucks. It's like a movie. You sit there, there's not much interaction.
Yeah.
The old games was all about smiling, having fun, cheering. Just as Lance just mentioned a while ago, the famous thump from hockey and the cheer from baseball.
That's right.
Those are things that just stuck out with me for the past, 40 blah, blah, blah years. So you can't go wrong with a good recipe. And Intellivision really hit it home run the first time.
Yeah, for sure. I always remembered was Ride of the Valkyries too, in the Sub Hunt. And I know it was in Checkers before that, but I didn't play Checkers. But when the first time I heard that in Sub Hunt, oh my, I couldn't believe it. It was fantastic. Loved it. I'm drinking Picaroon's Winter Warmer. Put it over in front of the Picaroon's Winter Warmer tonight. I got another one ready to go. That one's almost empty. Had to have a little something. I didn't have any drinks before we started, so it's okay. I saw a comment on there as well. Intellivision, yeah, Thunder Castle, for example. And you can't really talk about Intellivision gameplay music without talking about Thunder Castle, because at the end of the day, for that old system, I think that was probably the cream of the crop. Came later on, so it had time to develop. But Thunder Castle is just phenomenal. The music in it, love it. All right, so the next category is one, and Carlos and I talked about this a little bit. It's one that the nominees are often overlooked, but to those of us who love these physical releases and love to collect copies of the game, the real collectors, they're extremely important. So the next category is Best Physical Packaging, Box, Manual, and Overlays, which refers to all the visual content, quality, design elements related to the box, manual, and overlays for physical releases. So I don't know if they never given an award out for this aspect of it or not. I'm not sure, but
That's what I'm aware of. No?
It's great because, that's, as a collector, this is one of the things that I like most about buying the physical releases. It's the work and effort to go into the actual physical products that come with your cartridge and game. Anyway, so let's go on to the next one. Best Physical Packaging.
You are my love and my friend. I thought the day would never end. You tore out my heart without anesthesia. Behavior that's hard to defend.
And I think I was going to stop there for a second. Congratulations to Intellivision's publisher, Intellivision Revolution. Rev's in the chat. Cheers, Rev. Oh, there it is right there. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a great package. Love the gatefold. Love the art. Love the name. Love the quality. He knocked it out of the park with this one.
I can remember DJC, I think's in the chat there. There he is, right up there, right now. I have a great looking box. He got his early on, and I missed the first wave. I got it the second wave, and that's one that Rev will get another wave out as soon as he possibly can, I'm sure, because if you don't have that game, pick it up. Pick it up. It's absolutely, totally worth it. I congratulated Rev already, but let's talk about the gentleman who brought us this great product. We have Steve Jones for box design, Frank Westfall production, Rudy Wild cover artwork, Davey Wagnerrock additional artwork, and then we have Mark Thompson in the manuals and Phil Boland with overlays. And fantastic work, guys. Thank you so much. Congratulations. And one thing that I noticed, and where's my sheet here, is if you look, Steve Jones, Mark Thompson, and Phil Boland do a ton of work in the homebrew community for different publishers, different programmers. When it comes to boxes and manuals and overlays, they're the experts in the field. I don't know them personally. I think you may, though, know them. Do you?
I do. Steve Jones is an amazing graphic artist and very skilled at his trade. Phil Boland, he had a recipe to make the overlays and he has perfected it. And Mark Thompson, I don't really know what he does during his day job, but I know he makes like 95 to 99% of all the manuals. Great quality. He made some special ones for me as well. And, you go after the experts in their field. You don't go for the jack of all trades. So if you want a really good overlay, you go to Phil. If you want a really good manual, you go to Mark. You want a really good design, you go to Steve. And then from there, there's different, options for boxing. Do you want a gatefold box? You go to this guy. If you want an Atari style box, you go to that guy. They really have, perfected their trade in what they do. And that's how we have great quality games being released.
I have talked to Steve on different times online and such like that, but I don't think I've ever actually met the other two.
Yeah, Steve, great Canadian, Torontonian. Yay.
There you go. We got the whole country covered here tonight. Yeah, for sure. Next category is a little different, but I really think it belongs in here. I don't know why I thought it was different, but it just sort of struck me a little bit. But it really does make a lot of sense when you talk about homebrews. A lot of homebrews tend to be this type of game, and that category is best port, whose nominees must feature a recognizable adaptation of an existing work from a different system. So very interesting one. Let's look at the video. Let's check out the winner first, and then we'll talk a little bit more about that.
You were my love and my friend. I thought the day would never end. You tore out my heart without anesthesia. Behavior that's hard to defend.
Congratulations once again to Rev at Intellivision Revolution and to Intellivision's designer and programmer Matthew Keel for the game's second award of the night. Matthew Keel, I think I pronounced that right. Does that sound right to you?
I don't know the individual.
Okay, right on. I think that's it. It must be Keel. Kyle, probably Keel. Second place for Port went to Carlos Madruga's Heli. Another fantastic game, also published by Intellivision Revolution. And we had a four-way tie for third place. And that was Carlos Madruga's Bank Panic, Dr. Port's Fantasy, Robotnik 7's Junior Pac-Man, and Collector Vision's The Good Enough, which is also by Carlos Madruga, actually. That's pretty tight competition between a lot of great ports, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and the ports is always the tricky one because there's always rights. There's always, sometimes you got to change the name so you don't get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the big developers of the port games, they won't allow you to print. There's the whole Smurf fiasco that happened a few years ago.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have them. They're very difficult to release, though.
Understood. But there's a fair amount of them.
There's a fair amount.
The model for the hero on the cover. Did not know that. Thanks, Seabart. But on that note, how about guys in the chat? Are there any ports or games that you would like to see ports of for the Intellivision? We'll give it a few minutes in the chat right now. If you have anything that you're thinking.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask that question as well, Pete. Yeah. That's something, a lot of people want to know is what's the ports that exist that you guys want to play on the Intellivision?
What we were talking about that a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about one, and for the life of me, I can't remember. Mega Man port. Well, Joust, yeah, that makes sense. Mega Man port.
I love Mega Man.
That'd be hard, but that's different. Right on Bungling Bay. But after doing it, if they can do Intellivision as amazingly as they did, they could forget something with Mega Man too.
Yeah, no, I agree. And we have to think about the limitations of the Intellivision as well and the sprites. I mean, I'd love to see like a beachhead game, but I don't know if it's possible. But yeah, maybe we can make that a homework question, Pete, a follow-up to this video.
Good idea. You said beachhead. Are you talking about the old Commodore 64 beachhead?
Yeah.
I love that game.
Yeah.
I didn't think anybody ever remembered that. I had one of my videos somewhere down the road when I think I bought the little C64 mini. I talked about beachhead in that game because I played it, and Raid Over Moscow was the other big one that I played that were just for the C64. Raid Over Moscow would be a good game maybe to bring to the Intellivision.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is something I want to look at as well and maybe work with some of the developers and the coders and stuff to see what we can bring to our system, what's possible.
All kinds of ideas on there. Contravision. There we go. That's beautiful. Keystone Capers. Steve, Keystone Capers is actually been made by Brian Puddin. And he started working on it quite a while ago. He bought Oscar's book, Oscar Toledo Gutierrez, is Indie Home, Indie Basic, right? program with any basic, and he made Keystone Capers on the Intellivision. So I haven't played it yet, but he's done some videos. So look for Brian's Man Cave, and you will find some videos of Keystone Capers on the Intellivision.
And I see Kaboom on the list as well. I think that's been made a couple of times now.
Is that right?
Yeah. No, we need some good games. We need to see if we can come up with something new.
I haven't got my thing up here. Taking me a while to put my comments up, but I was at Michael Hayes says, color a dinosaur.
I don't know.
You don't know color a dinosaur?
No.
Notoriously terrible NES game. Notoriously.
I'm pushing Rev for a Hotel Bunny 2, actually.
I have Hotel Bunny. I kind of like it.
That's an internal joke. It's all good.
Oh, well, yeah, understood. Right, a Time Pilot would rule from DJC. That's awesome. Robotron 2084. Yeah.
Ooh, Steve Jones, Tron the arcade game. Is that Steve? Is that the stand-up one? That'd be awesome. I'd love to see that. But I think the first one,
Beachhead's freaking awesome. Was an awesome game.
Oh yeah. See if somebody can make a Karnov for us, Pete.
I love Karnov.
I know you do. So do I.
Oh, I love that game. Jeez, yeah, that would be good too. Well, again, I'm gonna go back to this. If you can make friggin' Intellivision, you can make Karnov, because Intellivision, the original, was much more, I'd say, advanced than Karnov was at the time. Karnov was a pretty simple game.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. What time we got? We're going pretty good. Now we're getting into the core categories for this year's awards. And before we go much further, get into this one too much, I'm going to ask you what your thoughts are on digital releases, because I've been seeing more and more. It seems to be digital releases actually marketed, especially even after a game's physical run. Then the programmers will release the digital ROM. And do you think it's a better marketing option for programmers nowadays?
The sales of digital ROMs are okay, and I can only leave it at that. I mean, if they only did a digital sale, they probably it wouldn't pay for their time to make the game.
Right.
So you have to have the physical copy. People like me and you, Pete, I know you do as well. We love our emulators. We like playing them. I love playing it because I got the 1080p on my screen. I want to see a ROM of everything. Personally, it's my own opinion.
Yes.
And I don't know how many people are like that in the community, but I think it's a great way of keeping these games as well. Understood.
I like to have, like you said, I want the physical release and I want the ROM, and I'll pay $10-15 for the ROM afterwards and be more than happy to do so, because then I can take my physical copy and have it. You know, I'm a collector. I've been a collector since I was like that high, since I saw Ernie and Bert collected bottle caps. I've been a stupid collector, right? Since I was 6 years old. And I'm more than happy to pay the extra $10-15 to buy the ROM to go with it. So I can just play it on my Ultimate Flashback or play it on my LTO Flash or whatever I want to do. But it all goes down to this, though. It's a risky thing for any programmer to do. And I've said this 1,000 times before. I'm going to say it here again today. It's probably not the crowd that really needs to hear it because they know it. But at the end of the day, if everybody would buy the ROMs and not share them, then for only $10 or $15, the programmers would make enough money to keep going. But if we all share the ROMs, then they're not going to make anything out of it, and they're just going to stop doing it. So every time you share a ROM, you're sort of stabbing yourself in the back. It's not like it's $100; it's like $10. Intellivision Vision right now are selling ROMs $5 or $10 for different games. So it's like anyone I want, $5, $10. Like, here you go, and I'll have a new game, right? So it's awesome. I really like that. I want the physical releases too. Don't get me wrong. I think that the ROMs, in my mind, are a better complement to the physical game. But anyway.
Yeah, I like my ROMs.
Yeah. Anyway, we went on long enough about that. Without any further ado, here's the award for the best game released in digital ROM format. It is the Game of the Year Digital. I almost said that wrong. Game of the Year Digital. Here we go.
You were my love and my friend. I thought the day would never end. You tore out my heart without anesthesia. Behavior that's hard to defend.
Congratulations once again to Kai Magazine and Oscar Kenneth Albero for their now 3-time award-winning game, The Sorrow of Gadlin III. I can't wait to play it. DJC already had me worked up about it. He talks about it a lot on his show when we do Astro Smashed on Monday nights. Yeah, I don't have this game yet. I was sort of waiting for the physical release to possibly come out before I jumped in, but man, 3 awards right there. Sorrow of Gadlin III, Game of the Year Digital. That's awesome. Second place in Game of the Year Digital goes to Bank Panic from Carlos Madruga, another great title. And we have another 3-way tie for third place. Tied for third, we have Fantasy by Dr. Ports, Heli by Carlos Madruga, and Robotnik 7's Junior Pac-Man. Congratulations to all those games. Good group of games right there. I think you have most of them on your site, right, Luke?
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, let's jump right in. DJC waiting for his physical release. Absolutely. That gets us down to the final category. As like I've talked about, I'm a big collector, so this is the one that I consider the granddaddy of them all. And I just can't get enough physical homebrew releases. I got more on the way. I always keep my physical collections all right here behind me all the time, my homebrews. So without further ado, it's the award for best game released in a physical format. It's the Game of the Year Physical. Here we go.
You were my love and my friend. I thought the day would never end. You tore out my heart without anesthesia. Behavior that's hard to defend.
Once again, to Intellivision's designer and programmer Matthew Keel, as well as his publisher, Rev from Intellivision Revolution. That's 3 for Intellivision, and it was a pretty stiff competition in that group right there. Would you say, Luke?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't know which way it was going to go, actually.
No, really. Second place, well-deserved, another Intellivision Revolution title. Holy cow, eh? We're Intellivision Revolution all over the place here. That was Heli, Carlos Madruga, programmer. And in third place is another game that came out later in the year. It's a beautiful CollectorVision title, The Goon Enough, also programmed by Carlos Madruga. So that's a great. So Intellivision Game of the Year Physical. Congratulations.
Well deserved. Fantastic packaging. Great game. And absolutely. I do believe Rev is actually going to be selling them again very soon.
Good.
He had shared with me some information. I think they're going to go away from gatefold for the next release, though. So those who had the Intellivision gatefold version, the first release, are a little bit special, I guess.
Right on. That's good to hear. Good to
Correct
hear.
me if I'm wrong, Rev. I don't want to misspeak here either, but I know they are coming back out.
Rev, maybe it's a little ploy because, you know, the true 100% collectors will have to get the gatefold and the flip top version.
We always do.
It's a good idea.
Us stupid variant collectors.
Yeah, I've got 8 copies of Utopia. Well, guys, that's it for the 2021 Television Homebrew Awards. But before I go, I want to thank again. I want to congratulate. Before I go, I want to thank and congratulate all the nominees. And, of course, special congratulations to the programmers and publishers of our 2 big winners tonight. That's Kai Magazine and Oscar Kenneth Albero for The Sorrow of Gadlin Thur. And also to Matthew Keel and Rev from Intellivision Revolution for the amazing Intellivision. You know, Luke, I don't know if you noticed that or not, but Intellivision Revolution had a game that was either first or second in every category. In Game of the Year, he had first and second. So congratulations, Rev, on that. Fantastic work. And thank you for all the amazing things you do and all the great games that you put out that we love to collect so much. One more special thank you from everybody, I hope, to Carlos Madruga for running the 2021 awards. And he put a ton of work into it tonight. Heard from him a lot. He followed that Atari Age post. He kept track of all the results, put everything together, sent it to me to set up. So from everybody, thank you, Carlos, for doing that. And also, I want to give Carlos a special thank you from me for asking me to be involved for doing the video 3 weeks ago to announcing all the nominees right up to the stream tonight, because I really enjoy doing stuff like this, and it's a lot of fun. And I simply love the Intellivision. I love the homebrew scene, and I love the Intellivision community. I mean, I'm pretty new to the community, really, but I mean, I do love the Intellivision system. I've been playing it for 40 years plus. I got to plug a little bit. Check my channel out for the 125. It is still going in the Safecracker. Luke, Safecracker. It's actually recorded and put together. I just have to decorate it. So it's going to be coming out sooner than later. And I still have that bet with the Intellivisionaries podcast that I'm going to put out 2 episodes of the 125 for every episode of the Intellivisionaries podcast that comes out in 2022. So we'll see how we're doing. Right now, it looks like I'm ahead just having something done. And that's from Paul himself. So that's right on. And
Excellent.
Also Indie Homebrew Spotlight. I've been doing some reviews of not just the new ones coming out. I've been promoting some new ones as well, but some of the older ones I go back and look, because some games just deserve to go back and take a look at them. Maybe you can't get them physical anymore, but you can probably still get them digital. And it's just fun to go back and look at these old games. So right on.
Excellent. Yeah. And for those who don't know, I asked Papa Pete to do Safecracker because that's probably one of the original 125 that I have the least exposure with. I just never played it. I never had it when I was a kid. And I haven't played it enough to enjoy it. So I asked Pete, hey, next 125 you do, can you do Safecracker? So that's referring to his comment a while ago.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Safecracker. And when we do, maybe we'll do a stream again. If the opportunity arises, we'll do a stream and a post-premiere stream after I premiere, if it's possible. So, but it's probably going to come out in a couple weeks. So there's a lot of work goes into each episode, but I think it's going to come out. There you go, Carlos, just saying all the results. So the votes that every thing has gotten are now visible on Atari Age. That was intentionally done so we can release it tonight. And then I got the printouts of them here somewhere, but that's awesome. Now everybody can go check out how many votes each individual item got. Also, there's been talk. These awards are going to develop. It's starting off this year. I think there's been some discussion with Carlos and stuff. Maybe within the community there will be a group put together, a nomination committee, and we'll go to 5 nominees in each category. Maybe have more categories with less nominees instead of 27 games out, 27 graphics nominees. We'll we'll have maybe 10 categories, various categories. We'll have 5 nominees for each. Who knows? The awards will develop over the next year or so. So that's fantastic. And the best part about it is Carlos is dedicated to doing it. So once again, Carlos, thank you so much for doing that. Thank you, Jeff, for watching the chat for me coming on. I know you're going to watch the stream, and I hit him up at the last second and said, man, we're not going to be able to even pay attention to the chat. And I haven't. I'm sorry if I missed your comments in the chat. I'll go back and maybe watch just to watch the chat, just to see all the comments and such. And Luke, thank you so much for joining me and bringing your expertise. And thank you personally for all that you taught me about the entire television scene and television community over the last couple years.
Oh, no problem at all. And if I can make a statement before we go as well.
Yeah.
A lot of love and a lot of respect to those programmers who didn't get selected tonight. It is not a reflection to your skill. Thank you so much for continuing to make these games and giving us these games. I don't want them to be excluded on that. Just lots and lots of thank you to them.
Absolutely. Because you programmers, every single one of you who made a game this year or were involved in making a game this year, if it weren't for you, this community wouldn't be here. I mean, this homebrew, man, keep it going. We really, truly appreciate it.
Yeah, and I know that 2022 is going to have more homebrews developed, and I'm going to be releasing some myself as well. I'm working with a lot of developers. I have a few games that are being created for me that are going to be released. So I know that, I want to give everybody an equal share for these programmers as well to show off their skills. So be it a newbie or be it an extreme programmer, either way, the community is here to support you.
Right on. Well, that's it, guys. Everyone have a great night, and we'll see you next year for more great Intellivision Homebrews. 2022 is going to be a great year, and there's going to be another set of awards in 2022. Thank you, Carlos. Everybody, good night and take care.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Intellivision, I'm on a quest now.
Welcome to the 2021-2022 Intellivision Homebrew Awards, hosted by Papa Pete.
Thin ice.
And hey, welcome to the 2022 Intellivision Homebrew Awards. Happy to be here for my second year And point in the right direction. Go game, go Jeff. Man in the chat down in the corner. His second year here with me.
Thanks, Pete.
And thank you so much for my co-host, his first year doing this with me, Mr. Seamart, the man who needs no introduction.
But thank you nonetheless.
Look at the gaze behind him. The co-host of the Intellivision Aries podcast. Thank you for bringing your vast homebrew knowledge to the award ceremony this year, Seamart. It's great to have you with us.
You bet. There's some homebrew games behind me as we speak, actually.
I see that. There's just a couple.
Look at those. Look at those ones. I can't even know. Oh, look at those three up there.
I'm looking forward to seeing those like firsthand here sometime, maybe later this year. Kind of enjoy that, Without any further ado, why don't we let's talk to the chat. Who do we got in the chat there today, Jeff? We got all kinds of people.
Avatar.
PJ. Yep. Hey, PJ, thanks for being here, buddy. Members of my channel. Casey, another member of my channel.
My mom's here.
Junebug, thanks for being here, Junebug. Really
Casey being a wise ass, that's nice.
Oh, absolutely.
Lance Jennings is here.
The incomparable Lance Jennings.
Kurt Bradshaw.
Another member of the
No,
channel.
Casey, I am missing one of the homebrews. Thank you for asking. Rev is a douche.
Thanks for being here, Steve. Steve's got some special stuff in the works as well. We'll talk about it in a video later on this week, I think. Some of the stuff he's doing, some more Sears boxes. I'm really looking forward to that because I love the Sears set. As you know, Chris, I love the Sears.
Big fan myself. I see Doomer is here as well. And Drake.
Right on. I don't know, Chris. That's great. Thanks for being here.
Lathe is here as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm sort of going through the list here, and I'm also going through the ones Jeff's putting up. Jeff's putting up everybody's name there. We got Doomer, and is that about it?
I think that's everyone.
Did we miss anybody?
I hope
Well,
not.
that is awesome. Thank you guys all for joining in. 22 in here already, like just a couple minutes in, for Pete's sakes. That's great. Chris, let's talk about the differences this year, the things that changed a little bit with the Homebrew Awards this year, because we set up the nomination committee. And, it's yourself. Yep. And talk about the other members of the committee and what you guys went through to select the categories, first of all, and then the actual nominees for each one.
We went through hell, Pete, is what we went through. We went through hell.
Yeah.
My fellow Intellivisionary Rick Reynolds was one of the other fine folks. Jason Seidenstreicher. Actually, Jason just prefers, I think Jason loves Inti on Atari Age. Jason is in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Steve Orth, who runs the Inti Funhouse and is the reason a lot of us have a lot less money in our wallets, because he introduced many of us to variant collecting.
I've loved that website for years, long before I was ever really sort of had much knowledge about the background of it. I always had found the Funhouse, and it's just you could get lost in there for a couple hours pretty easy.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us, that's sort of how we found our way back. We probably Googled Intellivision. There was the web ring stuff, but you found Steve's website, and you're like, oh, I think that's probably where I learned about a lot of the games. No, actually, that's not true. The Intellivision Lives, the CDs, because I'd seen an article back in 96 or 97 or whatever it was when Keith was releasing that. But that led me to the interwebs and eventually to Steve's Funhouse website. Yeah. And then now I have a basement that's very full of way too many Intellivision games. Mostly
that would be true. There's no way it's too many, because you seem to be getting more, so you obviously don't have enough.
No, I'm now trying to figure out more shelving units, and it's Steve's fault. I think all of us can and should blame Steve Orth. And then the one, we're going to change this for next year, I suspect, but we only have one European this year, and that is Michael Runzer, who is I hope I didn't mispronounce Inti Mike's last name.
That's the way I would have
probably our premier German Intellivision collector, right?
Hey, Wizard. Right on. That's awesome. It had to be awfully tough to make those decisions. I think I saw all those boxes going across. There's 30 games that I had measured out.
Yeah.
It's nice. I had that opening video.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. We I think one of the things you saw this year is we more categories, just try and make it more. We're trying to do something different just to make it a little bit more fun, try and include more people. Although at the same time, with 30 games, made voting a bit of a gong show. We tried to take a bit of a award show type approach to it, where we kind of narrowed the categories down. That was the idea. The five of us were to, have an unbiased look at all the games and try and come up with 5 to 10 per category, right?
One of the things that we had last year was a simple matter that the game was published and it had it was eligible. It was considered a nominee in each category, which isn't really that realistic when you start getting the numbers that you're getting. And 27 last year, 30 this year. That's all physical. And this year is starting off like wildfire, really. I mean, you have the Homebrew Inc. games. You got a couple games from Any Home already out. Television Collector is going to have some more, and you might even see a little sneak peek later on, guys. A little secret for you.
That's called a tease.
A tease. That's a tease. You might see a little bit later, something later from Intellivision Collector. And Cote Gamers has Norseman 2 coming out. Collector Vision already has Mr. Turtle just out, a week and a half ago. Your copy of that, probably.
I don't.
And you know that Intellivision.
Yes, I do. Sorry, it's behind me. Yeah, I do have. I have that. Just maybe not some of Rev's games, but that's a different.
Well, there you go. I was about to say, Intellivision Revolution has they're going to have some amazing games coming out later on this year. And that Tron Anthology that Casey and I just did the video on last week. Check that out if you haven't. Do you have a copy of that yet?
Tron. Have I paid for it already? Yes. Have I received it from Rev? Disappointingly, no, I have not.
That might be the only game in history that I'll have before you.
Well, I think you've had some review copies prior to me.
Maybe. I have gotten a couple. I buy them. Like I get them early copies to do some videos on them and stuff beforehand.
I don't do a lot of videos. Rev's got a ridiculous number of games coming out this year. He also has a bunch of games coming out in conjunction with David Harley.
Right.
That will be. I think so far we just know about one, but I'll just tell you that there's more. What was my first Intellivision Homebrew game, and what year did I get it, and what was it? The first one I got. It would have been one of the Intellivision. Well, I got all of them. So was it Fortress? Not the. I'm holding my camera weird here. Sorry, I figured out how I can switch around. So let me go to settings and flip camera. It's not helpful. Sorry.
There we go.
Camera. No, that's still front camera. I'm flipping to back camera.
Oh,
there. So
look at this.
It would be. These were the original ones here, right? So,
nice.
Well, sorry. Those were the original ones. I missed those. That was 04, no, 04, 03, 04, I can't remember. Early. Then these guys, Fortress, Mindhunter, Same Game Robots, StoneX would have come out, and I'm trying to think, was it Fortress first? Honestly, I can't remember. These ones. These guys here were my first batch.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and then then it got out of hand.
One of these days, we've talked about it before. One of these days, maybe later on this year, we'll do a little tour and we'll have a video of your collection. How's that sound?
Possibly. We'll see.
We'll have to discuss. Yeah. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to go through. We got 8 categories, lots of nominees. Mine was Space Patrol. Right on, Luke. What was my first one? I can't even tell you. I have to think about it again. I have to stop and think, and I don't want to take time to do that right now. But first homebrew, I think my first homebrew, believe it or not, was Defender of the Crown. Bought it from Willie. Anyway, before we get started, I want to thank Atari Age and the entire Intellivision forum section for hosting the vote. Okay. And also being the place where the entire community can go and keep up to date on everything for Intellivision, whether it's 125 or the homebrews or whatever. And once again, how many people we got in here now? I'm taking a look. How many people get in there, Jeff?
27.
27 people in here. I want to thank each and every one of you, because obviously you have enough interest in television to be here watching the show to find out who won the awards this year. And it's your interest and your love of the Intellivision system that's keeping this community and the system alive 44 years after the thing come out. So 30 games, 44 years after the system was released. It's
crazy.
Incredible. Just
I remember being excited back then when those 4 or whatever came out over the 2-3 year period they came out. I was just like, oh, I can't believe this is crazy new games being made for the Intellivision. 30 odd years, no, 25 odd years, whatever it was after, and that was cool at the time. And yeah, here we are advanced to 2022, and 30 new games is pretty awesome.
And I think
it'll be a similar number this year, right? So
yeah, it'll be about the same. Well, what do you think? Without any further ado, you want to get on to our first award?
It seems like a super good plan since it's
our first award. Or you and I'll be sitting here talking all night. Our first award is Best Puzzle Game. So, find what I need on here. Here we go.
Do we show the nominees?
Yes, we do show the nominees, Chris.
I was hoping we should. It happened such a long time ago when you stared. I honestly can't remember.
I believe it. I believe it for sure. So, congratulations to Intellivision Collector and the programmer, the Golden Bat, and Intellivision Collector, man, right on. So, to accept the award, we're happy to have Luke Boudreau with us today. Let's bring Luke in. Do this and do this, and there is Luke, who hosted it with me last year. Thank you so much. Stepped aside from that because, hey, you're releasing some games now, and you get an award winner, first one, right?
I know, eh? Who would have thought? Thank you for everybody that voted.
That's awesome. So, is this a game?
Seems a bit sketchy.
Is Penguin Land a game that you knew from back in the day that you had a special fondness for, that you sort of were interested in releasing?
No, actually, I never played it before. It was suggested to me. I did some research on it, and it looked pretty cool. And then I asked the Golden Bat to see if he could reproduce it, and it turned out great. I love it.
And, you know, speaking of that, the Golden Bat, of course, we don't really know who the Golden Bat is, but I was sitting this morning getting ready for this, and I got a message. And I got a video, so I was asked to play this video if the Golden Bat happened to win. So, without any further ado, we'll take a look at what this video is.
Golden Bat,
That's friggin' awesome. I love it. That's beautiful. I don't know what the history is. I guess the Golden Bat was a retired Japanese superhero who decided to quit and now makes Intellivision games, Intellivision Homebrew games, or something like that. New pastime. Our gain. Right on. Yeah. So I know we have some stuff coming down the pipes. We'll talk about that at another time. But anyway, Luke, congratulations on getting that first one. Why don't we probably might even see you again before the end of the show, you figure?
Before Luke goes, can I ask a question, though?
Absolutely.
What is happening with that plant behind you on the wall?
That one?
Yeah, what is going on there?
It's a plant on the wall in a vase of water.
Is it? Well, it's weird.
You can't smoke, Chris. No.
It's very distracting. It's all I'm looking at. I can't even look at your face. I'm just looking at the
I'm not going to drive from Vancouver down to Portland with these two like later on this year. So it's like, I think we'll probably laugh a little bit, maybe.
There will be some laugh. And possibly McDonald.
Funner this year.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. Maybe no Dawn for the drive down. We don't know that. No, Casey, plants on walls are not anything. It just looks weird. Like that's just weird. Respect. I'm guessing it was his wife's idea, not his idea, but whatever. Either way, that was funny. Trader with her.
Named Robert Plant.
Probably not.
Rev, please remove the plant.
That's solid. Yeah.
Always
It's weird,
something.
man. Please sit somewhere else if you're coming back on. I don't want to
They're
look at
just
the
all
plant.
jealous because
All right, Chris.
It's very distracting. I have two cats. I can't have plants in my house anymore because of my cats. It's just So maybe it's just jealousy that you have a plant on your wall. My cats would take that down. That might be
I'll
it.
put something else on the wall that'll distract you.
Thank you.
Before you go, this is one thing that I forgot I wanted to do as well is we'll check out the vote, how the votes worked out in this category.
Oh yeah.
I've got a graphic up for that just so everybody will see, and we got her up here now. So as you can see, Penguin Land won quite well, but everybody was well represented in the vote there. 26 Fox's Quest, fantastic game. That's available for your on your website right now too. Do you still have any copies of it left, Luke?
Yes, I do actually.
Right on. That's great.
Yep.
So if people are looking for that game, and Clax is out though, correct?
Clax, you will have to reach out to Dr. Ports. I no longer have Clax on the website. No.
Right. I can remember at one time you did, but
Yeah.
Right on. So 51 total people. That's actually pretty good. That's more than last year. Last year we were in the 40s. So we got a little bit more. I noticed that some people voted in some categories and not others. But anyway, just wanted to show everybody can take a look at the results of each of our categories because it's really interesting, some of them, and it really shows parity. So anyway, I'll bring that down. And thank you again, Luke, so much for joining us. Congratulations on the great game that is Penguin Land. And,
no problem.
Did you take the plant down, or is it just? I can't see it now.
I was wondering if you're going to notice.
You did take it down, or it zoomed in?
No, there was never a plant there.
Oh shit! I just imagined the whole thing.
What plant?
Cool.
All right.
Yes.
Thanks, Luke. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bye. Douche.
All right. Let's go on to the next category, guys, and it's best action game. Are you ready for the best action game, Chris?
Bring on the cat. Bring on just the list because I can't remember.
Bring on the cat. All right, hold it. Where's the
video?
Here it is. Here we go. Well, there you go. Congratulations to Star Mercenary. It was published by Electronite. William is not with us here tonight. He's putting games together, actually physically assembling some games to send out to all of his customers. So he's preoccupied tonight. And the programmer, Kai Magazine's Oscar Albero. And actually, Oscar messaged me this morning when I sent him the invite to come onto the stream. He would like to have joined in, but he's out of the country at the moment. And even if he was in the country, that's Spain. And he would have been about 3 o'clock in the morning for him there. So it's pretty rough. But he did want me to say thank you to everybody who voted for him, everybody who enjoys his games, and to let you know how much he appreciates the recognition for the work that he and his crew have put into Star Mercenary. It is an absolutely great game that we've been waiting for quite a while, C-Mart. It didn't disappoint either, but it's been on the radar for quite a while now until it gets released this year.
Yeah, I remember the early video and just being like, A, is that Charles Bronson? And B, holy crap. This was a really, really tough category for me, actually. This one I hummed and hawed over a lot. There was a lot of, I could have easily voted for all of the games pretty much.
Well, yeah. On that note, let's look at how it all worked out, the entire vote for that category. And we'll see going the wrong way. We'll see just how close it was. Results, best action game right here. So that right there is
Oh, wow.
pretty close when you see 49 different people and it's like 10, 8, 7, 6, 6, 5, 5. So that is just an extremely well represented group right there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That was, like I said, probably the toughest one I think for me. Game of the year obviously would have been as well, but yeah, I could have easily voted for essentially all of those games. And I honestly, I'm trying to remember which one I voted for.
I don't remember myself, to be quite honest, because I look at all those games and they're all games that I could pick up and play right now. Unfortunately, I haven't had the only one of them that I haven't had the opportunity to play yet is Castle of Death. I'm really looking forward to when I do, though.
Just as an aside, because it's on the screen right now, my sleeper game, if there was one of those, if that was a category that we had done, is Show Must Go On. That's my sleeper game that I think maybe wouldn't have been the obvious, game to people as they're looking through that list. But I really, really enjoyed that game so far. That'll be one I keep going. It's kind of like my new old school. Old school is amongst all those games behind me. That might be my sleeper hit game that I think people maybe miss out on. Show Must Go On, I think, will fall in that category. I really like that game.
Well, that's really good. I agree 100%. I love that game. I've done a couple I've played it in streams a few times. I've done a few videos on it, and I like playing it. So
yeah, I watched you play it a couple times. I'm like, okay, I gotta make sure I dig into that one, and I really, really enjoy it. It's a fun game. It's simple concept, right? But the execution is fantastic.
Pull that down there. Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, every one of them, I can stand play every one of them right now. Who was a Doomer just said in the chat there, I noticed real quickly, glad to see Castle of Death get some love in the votes. Yeah, my favorite to replay. And so I'm looking forward to playing that very much someday soon. So, all right. So let's go on to the third category. And this one is the award for, next up, we have the award for sound and music. And that's certainly one thing that the Intellivision is very well known for, is the sound and the music and its overall sound effects, would you say? I mean, historically, from Snafu on, the Intellivision's had incredible music.
Well, I mean, for me, sound-wise, or is any of us going to forget the shifty-eyed dealer or the "you're out" call? Those the shuffling and the shuffling of the cards alone. It was like, that sounds cool, because that was early on. That was right when we got the system. But then the "you're out" thing, it was like, oh, this is awesome. Because again, Atari was out. I didn't have one. I had a friend that did, and we played a lot. And it was great. But this was the next level, and then obviously where we're at now is ridiculous, right?
Yeah,
especially the last 2-3 years, right?
Do you remember, like, when the IntelliVoice was announced before it came out, the anticipation of it? Were you into it back then? Because I do remember that.
B-17 Bomber. I think that was the first IntelliVoice game. Might have been the only one that I got back in the day. We have friends in California. I've talked about this on the podcast 100 times down in Torrance. And they had all of them. Eventually, Tron would have got Tron last. So I did. I got to play them all, but at home, B-17 Bomber was the only one. But it just, again, it was just such a cool new thing. I don't really remember caring about the keyboard component back then, or being aware of it maybe enough, other than just whatever I read in Electronic Games.
My brother-in-law wanted the big one from the first day. He said, "When that comes out, I'm getting one. I don't care what it costs." It just never came to be. And then by the time ECS came around, it was sort of long gone. But the IntelliVoice, the game, it had 3 games for Christmas that year of '82, and it had been released. And man, we were just so itching to get that. It was absolutely amazing. Anyway, this category is going to be a tough one, because I'm telling you, the different programmers have learned how to make some absolutely incredible music, and I'm lucky we're going to have one of them here tonight to join in for a second. So before we go any further, let's see who is the winner for Best Sound and Music. Here we go.
After the nominees, though.
It will be after the nominees.
Good job.
There you go. Our very first tie. And it just goes to show, like, there's such heavy competition in this. It's so amazing, the music and sound effects in all these games, that we have a tie. And so congratulations to Intellivision Collector for Operation Cloudfire, music by Aiden Toledo and sound by Carlos Madruga, and to Electronight's Infiltrator, music again by Aiden Toledo, Nyundere, and sound by Arturo Ragazzini. And we got 3 of them here with us tonight, so I'm going to change my view and let's bring them in. We have Carlos and Luke from Intellivision Collector, and Nyundere himself. Aiden Toledo. Hey, good to have you all here. Got some echo here.
Hello, can you hear me well?
I can hear you.
Nice. Well, I'm glad to won this prize. It was really, it's an honor to share this with the television community, because you guys all are great. So thank you for all.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you for all that you do.
It's kind of amazing.
We have a tie.
But you did the music for both games.
I think we're getting an echo there. You have to mute.
We're getting an echo through Aiden's phone, I think, is what it is. But
the has to be muted, I think. Yeah, great job.
I just wanted to say on my side that Aiden is such a great musician. You know, I mean, he's the common denominator between those 2 games, right? So, on my side, I think working with him on Cloudfire was just awesome. Because he would just come up with different songs and one better than the other. It was awesome.
And I want to say this. Aiden has a lot of Can you mute your microphone, Aiden? There you go. That's perfect. So if Aiden has a lot of different soundtracks available for all kinds of different games, some of these as well, get a hold of Aiden either in the Atari Age forums or on Facebook, right, Aiden? And also there's one for the new one is going to be the Tron Anthology soundtracks coming. Aiden's going to have copies of that for sale soon too. So cool. Just amazing stuff, right? So the Operation Cloudfire.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing.
Okay. Hopefully it's muted there again now. Operation Cloudfire is such a special game. I mean, I always sort of referred to it for whatever reason. It seems to be one of those games that I want to call Carlos Madruga's Operation Cloudfire. Okay, well, you know what I'm saying? Something just sort of like Stephen King's The Shining, but it's almost like it's a game that you created right from scratch, and then Aiden to add the music into it and such, and it'd be such a well-represented game, and probably that's going to rank right there in one of your top releases, Luke, wouldn't you say?
It didn't sell the most, surprisingly, but it's the most popular and the best one I've ever produced. I mean, these 2 guys are fantastic. The music, the sounds they made. Carlos was the head behind the game, the main development. His vision is Operation Cloudfire. So thank you, Carlos.
Thank you, Luke, for publishing it. And big thanks to Adam, because, you know, at one point I was talking with Luke, I said, you know, I think we can plug way more music into this game, right? And Luke was like, well, you sure? I'm like, well, Aiden is the guy, right? So I think we ended up with like 18 tracks in this game, which I'm not sure if it's the record, but if it's not the most, the highest number of tracks, it's up there, right? So
yeah, I think we used up the JLP board almost to its full capacity. We tried to fit everything else we could in there.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So really big thanks big thanks for all the votes and recognition. Really great I mean, a lot of time and effort goes into homebrews, right? So to get a recognition like this is very special. Thank you very much.
Well, the appreciation of of all the people who love these games. Take a look at the vote just to see where it was. I'm gonna scroll up here and find it. Best sounding music, just to show you how close it was. Of course, we had the tie, Star Mercenary right behind it with 11, and then the other games all got votes as well. So it's really a pretty, I think, a really popular topic. And I don't know how Poker Risque didn't get more votes, Luke.
I don't know how it got 2 votes.
I think
it must be the ooh-la-la.
That was Rev twice. He didn't understand what he was voting for. He liked the moans.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh la la.
There we go.
Ooh la la.
Right on. Okay.
Little known fact, that's actually Rev that recorded that sound.
That's hilarious. Anyway, guys, thank you, Carlos and Luke, for being here. Aiden, thank you so much
for coming in.
Thank you so much, guys, and I'm glad. It's an honor to share this with the Intellivision community.
Yeah, you guys did a
great job.
Right on.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
And we're back.
Okay. That's too bad. That little bit of echo. That's all right, though. It was so nice to have Jandere come on with us. Really appreciate it. And Casey Nidal, thank you so much for the super chat. That is awesome. Thank you. Now I moved out of order a little bit. Justin Chi. Oh, I guess I haven't got to the point yet. Let's see. I was waiting for somebody to show up that has not shown up yet. But let's go on to the next category, and we're going to give out the award for best graphics. So, Chris, what's your opinion on how much the graphics has improved over the last few years and things that people how the improvements that have been made within the homebrew community, like, because you've been collecting homebrews now for 20 years.
Yep.
And you've seen all these different games and how they developed and
I mean, was the peak Hotel Bunny? Yes. But, will we ever achieve heights like that again? Probably not. Well, maybe Hotel Bunny 2. Hard to say. I know Rev's in the chat right now, actually. No, it's nuts when you look back to even the original stuff, like some of the early games, like Space Patrol, for example, was that 2012, I think.
Okay, yeah.
That was, that remains one of my all-time favorites. And here's a spoiler alert for the Hall of Fame, which we'll briefly talk about later. That'll be in there, just so you know.
Which makes sense.
Especially the last, 3 or 4 years, the quality of programming has just gone through. I know the boards allow for more, but you still have to know what you're doing. And what we've seen, this category is going to put a face to it, but some of the stuff is just staggering. And it's cool seeing that on an Intellivision. I mean, I think there's some people that bitch and moan, it's not like the original and it's not 4K or 2K or 6K or 8K. Well, it would have evolved, and this is a happy medium between what might the Intellivision 3 or 4 or 5 or 7 or what 12 look like right now. But whatever, we're playing it on our original consoles for the most part. Some are doing it on their PCs, I suppose, but it's nuts. It's really added a lot in terms of story quality. All the cutscenes and stuff we're seeing. Again, a little leap forward to the Hall of Fame, but look at something like Christmas Carol, and the cutscenes that were done with that game were fantastic, right? And that adds to the experience. I mean, the boxes are beautiful, the gameplay is fun, but you just want to enrich it, make it a full experience. And I think some of these programmers are just doing wonderful things the last few years in particular. So it's set a very high bar, right? And it's not that every game has to look like a work of art, because again, some of my favorite games are really not that graphically, crazy, but at the same time, it needs to be fun. But yeah, that's right. Beautiful and fun's also cool. So.
You're not kidding. And we have a lot of that this year. Without any further ado, why don't we move on? Let's take a look and find out who won the award for Best Graphics 2022. Here we go. Congratulations once again to William Muller and Electronite, and especially to Justin Cheer for creating the amazing graphics in the Pandora incident. Just amazing. And I'm going to talk about probably not only maybe the best graphics programmer of 2022, but the one with the best timing, who just popped into the chat right now. So let's bring him in with us right now. And did I get him in there? I got it fixed right here. There we go. Hey, Justin.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. Nice to meet you. I've never talked to you before. It's my pleasure to meet you. And congratulate you on
thank you very much.
Your incident.
Justin, sorry, real quick. Have we met at PRGE?
Yeah, this year.
Or
this past year.
Yeah, perfect. That's what I thought. I thought you looked familiar. It's just dawning on me now. Awesome job. Well done, you.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're up in that area, so if I get scared the cat. Hopefully, I'm not going to knock on wood. I'm going this year. I'm going.
Oh, you're going.
I hope to get to meet you this year. Yes, I'm going. It's already done. What am I talking about?
Great.
I already have the time off, Seymour. That's right. So
and
Justin
already got the twin bed for the two of you. Like you guys, you're good to go.
Oh, geez.
You downsized from the Queen because you're good to go. You're gonna have a lot of fun.
Less spooning, right? Justin, you worked on all kinds of games. You were involved with 3 or 4 of these games. It seems your specialty is graphics, correct?
Yeah, pixel art, and I do design how a lot of them sort of work out and the animations and things, but I don't do any programming or anything like that.
What brings you into the television scene? Did you have it when you were a kid? Is it something?
Yeah, my parents got a television, I think, in 1980.
Yeah.
They bought it for themselves, and for a while I didn't get to play very much, but that was the console that I grew up with, and basically never stopped being a fan of. Even when I moved away, didn't have one. As soon as I got to Vancouver, I found the first Intellivision I could, every game I could find at flea markets, and been basically playing it steady ever since I was a kid.
Awesome.
One of the things I think that's been cool, and I think the last category or 2 categories ago, whenever Aiden was on, that's changed in the last few years. A lot of the times you look back to the programming forums, you'll see programmer art referred to in quotation, right? Where a lot of the guys that are great at programming, maybe the pixel art design of this is really not their strong point, but bringing folks in like Justin and Aiden to create this team that's helped assemble this game and really take them sort of to the next level has been really neat. So congrats to you. You've done a great job as I spin my camera back and forth here. Yeah, it's awesome. It just adds so much to the game. It's funny. You'll see someone, show a dry run of it. And I've seen you post, I think, and they're like, what about this? And you're like, dude, that looks way better. Make it that. And like, oh, thank you. Whatever you can help is great. But that's I think what's great with this community is our ability to, collaborate and work together and let others, get involved. Like you say, you don't program. Good for you. This is what you do, and you do it really well. So I think that's awesome to get involved with this. And it's cool to see the name on a box, isn't it? And in a manual.
And there's been a lot of people who've asked for help for things, even just advice. A lot of this happens behind the scenes, and people never hear about it. But there's a lot of collaboration.
Awesome.
Trying to look here because you were involved with in the graphics Infiltrator and Operation Cloudfire as well with Carlos.
Yeah, those 2 games I just did the cinematics for.
Okay, yeah, and then but Pandora Incident, you were the lone credit for graphics in that one.
Yeah, I did most of the in-game graphics before I think it started being programmed in. Yeah. And that was for the NT Basic contest, which we had to reduce a lot of it to fit it in without bank switching, which was a rule for the contest.
Okay.
But afterwards, then we did so much more. Carlos really improved the gameplay out of the map, and there's over 20, probably 24 cinematic scenes in the game. There's about a dozen from the opening to the end, if you see them all. And then depending on all of your actions, there's another, I think, dozen or so you can see at the different endings. But it's not like a good one, okay one, and a bad one. You just see a series of things that match up with the text, depending on how your different actions played out.
Oh, that's so... Yeah. I played it. I got it here in my pile here. I've not beat it yet. I played it on the stream a couple weeks ago. I got further, I think, than I ever had before.
It's definitely worth playing through for anybody who maybe gets frustrated. There's a lot of replayability because some of the really cool scenes that you can see at the end are from doing bad things. So
Okay.
like if say you don't save the doctor from the cryo chamber, or he dies after the cryo chamber, all those things kind of play out at the end.
They affect the
super
final
cool.
ending.
Yeah.
So neat. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So don't have to let any cats out of any bags, but yeah, you're doing some projects right now, or are you taking a little hiatus? 'Cause
Yeah,
obviously had
I
three
can't
top
talk
games.
about some of them, but the one that did get announced recently is the Immortal.
Oh yes, yeah.
And that's going to be Team Pandora, all the same 4 people, Adon and Arturo and Carlos and myself.
Nice.
And
Looking forward to that one
we're
very
sort
much.
of figured out, at least visually, how the level's going to be laid out, sort of have that set. But right now it's sort of on hold till we sort of figure out what's going on with the JLP board supply. You know,
Yeah.
it's still big. I don't even know if they'll fit on a regular JLP board, so we'll just have to see how that plays out.
That's cool. Well, listen, thank you again so much. Congratulations. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
all the work that you do and provide to the community. You're just such a huge contributor, huge part of it, being involved with 3 of the top games. So I guess I didn't look to see where the other games were. Let's take a look at the votes. Best graphics right here. This is the way the vote broke down. Did I get the right one?
Wow.
Yep.
So yeah, Pandora Incident 21, Star Mercenary 15, Operation Cloudfire, and Infiltrator 5. And you know, Infiltrator was an amazing graphic game.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. It goes to show us like we're picking from 4 of the absolute top notch.
Those 4 are all exceptional, right? Yeah.
Exactly. It's like it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So make sure I get the right one here. There we go. Well, again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
In the back seat, if you can stick around, that's great. We'll bring it back in when we get towards the end there. All you guys, that is excellent. And we'll move on to the next one. So thank you again, Justin, for being here.
Thank you very much.
Congrats.
All right, guys. I'm sort of mixed up by my pages. And, you know, I knew Justin was going to try to come. So I sort of moved things around a little bit. So there we did graphics. So next up, we got one of my absolute favorite. I think, C-Mart, this is probably one of your favorites as well. And that is, I like calling it, and I give it my own little name. I call it the best physical product. And by physical product, I mean artwork, packaging, and extras. I mean, we're all collectors, or a lot of us are collectors. A lot of people just are happy with just ROMs, but like you and I like to have the games sitting beside us or up on the shelf, right? Just a couple.
I mean,
yeah,
maybe.
about that there.
I've heard
I don't know. Would you ever consider like? Oh, okay. Let's do the balance. There's always a big question in the retro community: are you a collector or are you a gamer? And I think
as life has gone on, yeah, I'm a collector now. I play the games, but a fraction of what I should. I just don't have time to the way I used to. We'll see. My son's graduating from high school this year. We got more time, less school stuff for him. But my work schedule is such that, I play when I can. Luke's got to come over and fix my Ultimate 609 or whatever the hell he's called it, just to make it easier for me to play on my HDMI TV.
It does make it a lot easier to have.
Yeah, I have a CRT. Well, if I flip the camera, you'd see it's literally sitting on the ground in front of.
Right.
And I play it on there.
Yeah.
That's hooked up. But yeah, I when I have time off, I try and play. But yeah, if we're being honest, I'm a collector. I mean, look around. I have 150 boxed in televisions. That suggests I bought more than I need for play purposes only.
I would think, yeah, that seems to be true. I'm the same way. I never get anything like obviously like that at all, but I still, it's so hard to find the time to play as much as you have. If I didn't have the Ultimate Flashback and sort of doing the stuff for the channel and such, I wouldn't play nearly as much.
Yeah, you get a chance to because of that, right?
Because of that. A lot of the times that's the reason I play. And I like doing things like the Astro Smash Mondays. show with Jeff and I and do with DJC. The thing I like about that is we do that high score challenge every week, and it gets me playing some games that I wouldn't have otherwise played. A game like Sewer Sam that, I played it, which I thought that's not going to be a very good game, and I liked it. So, sometimes there's surprises there, right? So it's a good thing.
Remind me at the end of the show, and I think I've showed this before, but I'll show it again to people who haven't seen it, about Sewer Sam. The absolute creepiest box art that has ever been created ever in the history of box art. And I don't mean the one that was issued that's sitting on your 125 shelf. Some of you have seen this already. Some of you have not. I will show it at the end of this if we get a chance, if you remind me.
There's a set of those on eBay not long ago for a little while ago, a set of those boxes that you're talking about. But anyway, without any further ado, let's find out which 2022 title won the award for best physical product, artwork, packaging, and extras.
So many good ones.
If I was in the right spot, I would show it right now. There it is. Here we go. That was a really interesting release, wasn't it, Norseman? Do you have a copy of that?
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna put my hand over my camera here.
I don't mean you have to go find it, but I'm just saying I didn't know. There it is down there. Yeah. I do not have a copy of that. I have played Norseman and such. It's something else. I was thinking there was a delay in the shipping for you or something. I thought you had mentioned.
Oh yeah, no, mine. I think mine got lost 3 times. Because I was in that original batch and from September, whatever, and it took a long, because I got both the big box and the small box and the long play controllers as well, which by the way also came in a super cool box. And if you see here behind me, my head's in the way. I like box controllers for all systems. So the fact that they boxed those things was awesome. But to the Norseman specifically, it's really cool. They've done a great. The big box format is neat. The small box is a nice alternative. Yeah. But the big box is super cool. This was a tough category. To your point, as a collector, absolutely. I love this.
I would say so. Congratulations to Patrice and Cote Gamers for putting out an amazing product. So, what were some of the things? There were some really interesting things in that set. I can remember doing it on the spotlight, talking about like even the little helmet and such. The North. Did you? And
their manual that comes with the booklet, the kind of behind the scenes thing it's really cool. I love for the same. I've talked about Christmas Carol lots of times. Yeah, the whole experience of a game.
Yes.
There's more that can be done, and this is the sort of stuff I really appreciate. I sometimes get more excited about, the 5 Hotel Bunny boxes that Steve Jones made as opposed to the game Hotel Bunny itself, which I'll continue on the line until the end of time. Although, mark my words, Hotel Bunny 2 might be your next game of the year. I'm just saying. I'm just showing.
You never know.
I'm making a dark horse call. I think it's going to be amazing.
The bunny runs across, you control the dog trying to catch it. That's the game of the year next year right there.
Yeah, it's a reversal with Mario and Donkey Kong. It's the same idea. Yeah, it's gonna be huge.
So
great job by them.
Let's take a look at the vote for that category. Right here. So Norseman Deluxe 17. There you go. And Sword of Godland Thur was very interesting as well, with their clamshell packaging, like a Genesis.
I think people are kind of split on that. I think it's kind of neat. We haven't seen anything like that. And the artwork on the manual and the boxes are just beautiful, right? It's the game itself is crazy, but when it comes packaged to something as nice as that, the Spider-Man boxes, all those Parker boxes that Dino's done are phenomenal.
I love them. Yeah,
I love it so much. Done such a good job with those. Can't say enough good things.
And Infiltrated and Operation Cloudfire were just incredibly attractive, I guess, boxes. Just look so high quality. So
yeah, exactly.
And this was weird. Look down in the corner. Total votes 55. It's like more people voted for this category than anything else. And I went in and voted for all 8 categories. So somebody.
It was interesting that some people didn't vote in some categories.
Yeah, more people went in and just voted for the box. So it just goes to show you there's a lot of collectors out there, guys.
Yeah, and maybe the other thing is, hard to play 30. So jumping back to the very beginning, because I didn't mention this, 30 games, it was a lot of work to play all of them. Even if it was just for a short period of time or watch videos at a minimum. To start in some cases, and then playing them myself, it was a lot. That was a lot. So maybe not everybody got all of the games. I mean, in fact, I'm sure a lot of people didn't. Some of these things came out in batches, because of the board shortage still being an issue. Although we're very close from a supply chain standpoint to getting this to the point where folks should be able to get games right off the bat, but not quite there. I know Luke's getting boards and Rev is getting boards, and Willie's getting boards when they can. So So maybe that's it, is people can see the stuff, but not maybe buy all of the stuff.
So now, before we go on to the next category, I have a special message for everybody from Intellivision Collector. That looks pretty awesome. Looked at that a while ago. Intellivision Brazil's been developing that game, and it's great to see that Luke is publishing it, and it's going to be out really soon.
Little known fact, that was Luke on guitar.
That was Luke on guitar. Well, when I come out, then we'll have to jam a little bit then.
Yeah, no, I was going to play myself. He did all the soundtrack.
Right on.
It's cool that Intellivision Brazil and Luke have partnered up to do this. That's awesome.
First game from
Rally X is a fun game. I think
that's right on.
Sorry?
Just his comment there. First game from Sergio. That's good to see.
Yeah, Rally X is a fun game. I think most of us have played it along the way. I'm looking forward to that. And if that's the box art, by the way, that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm quite sure that is the box art, because that's where it came from to announce it here tonight that was coming, and that was the box art that I was given. So it's beautiful. I love it.
Cool.
All right, so let's move on. And that game would fit into this category. Yeah, placed that just perfectly, didn't I? So now this is one of my actual personal favorite categories, and that's the best port or conversion. This is the award for the game that best recreates or remasters an already existing work. Does that sound like a decent definition of that to you?
Yeah, I think for a lot of us, it was, I remember back then Atari had all these games that we didn't, and then later the ColecoVision came out and got all these arcade exclusives for the most part, and again, games that we didn't have on the Intellivision. So it's kind of been a neat category the last X years to see a lot of those games behind me on the 2 shelves there fill those gaps, either maybe games that ended up being vaporware or games we just never got. So games like Miss Pac-Man, for example, would be one of them that because I like Pac-Man a lot, and I think the Intellivision version we ended up with was really good. But Miss Pac-Man obviously is superior, and I've always liked Miss Pac-Man better than Pac-Man at the arcade level. So getting games like that over the years has been awesome. You can see the Chopper Command right there, the big box, which we know was an Activision Atari game, with a slightly different name. So it's been a cool category that's been filled up quite. There you go. I just have the cool Dylan got 1 million points, so he got the big box and part of the contest back
Oh,
then.
jeez. Right on.
And I think it might have been his second game he ever played too. Yeah, so it's been neat to see all these holes, whether they be arcade titles or other systems get added to
And
the.
they keep coming. We got more coming this year. There's always going to be ports. There's
Tons.
always going to be ports. The latest one I played a lot of is Yar's Revenge. Right?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I have the ROMs, but
Don
stole my cable, so I can't.
I know the cable. I don't believe how many cables has that been now? He's taken at least
so many cables
right?
he's stolen. I'm actually disappointed he's not on, so I can't mock him openly. Yeah, Yar's Revenge was a game on the Atari that I loved, so I'm really looking forward to playing that. And it looks so well done.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. All right, so without any further ado, why don't we take a look, see who won for best port or conversion? Here we go. I love this game. I love that game.
I'd never seen it before.
You hadn't? Oh, C64.
No, I didn't have a Commodore. It's a C64 game for the most part, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I didn't have a C64, so I wasn't familiar with it. But I played it since now. But I've seen your videos. I'm just looking through the things here. People throwing ports. So they're Bagman and Zookeeper are two that I definitely would like to see.
Yes. So congratulations once again to the Intellivision Collector. Let's bring him back into the stream.
Again.
Kind
of getting bored of this guy. Yeah?
Right there. There he is.
Again. Now the plant's gone again. If you had you should have put something else up on the wall in the meantime. You had time. You could have done
something that was stuck on your back at Portland.
Nice. Casey has that.
I should have let you walk through the crowd with it.
Fair enough.
I took it
I was leaving that chair. Anyways, congratulations, buddy. Good job.
Thanks.
Hold on. I thought what happens in Portland stays in Portland.
Yeah, this is true. We keep it that way if we can.
So I have a funny
for the
story
stories I talk about on the podcast. Sorry, what's that?
I have a funny story actually about that game.
Perfect.
So I approached the headmaster and asked him to make a game for me, and he goes, "Well, what kind of game do you want?" So I remember when I was a kid, I used to play C64 a lot, and I played Beachhead 2. I loved it. So I said, "Make me Beachhead." He goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." So then he starts looking on YouTube, looks at video. He goes, "Why would you want to make that? Why don't you make something that'll sell?" I'm like, no, I want this. I think it'll be great. He says, "This is not the kind of game the Intellivision community wants. They want some other type of game." So, "Well, could you please make it for me?" He goes, "Yeah, I can, but it won't sell." Okay. Next thing you know,
and it didn't. We sold 7 copies apparently.
Next thing you know, here it is winning awards, right? So thank you very, very much to the headmaster for making it and making an excellent port. I mean, it's just so true to the Commodore 64. It's really, really good. I actually reached out to see if he'll do Beachhead 2 for me. I don't know if the Intellivision is capable of doing it, but hopefully a project for late this year, maybe next.
There's a vast number of games for that old C64, which will port over very nicely. I mean, if the system will do it, that are just so much fun on the C64. So they make some great titles, And you and I had talked about this one long before
we did.
I knew it was coming too. It's like a game that I just remembered from being a kid and enjoying so much. So that is too cool. I was going to say as well, congratulations to the headmaster, but you brought it up already. The mysterious headmaster. He didn't send me a video to play the Golden Bat though. So I was sort of hoping, but Vanguard was done by the Golden Bat. So if Vanguard had won, I could have played that video again. But anyway, congratulations again. One of my personal favorite releases of the year, right there.
Well, to be honest with you, Pete, I mean, you're thanking me. I didn't do anything but publish it. Thank you so much to the programmers thank you to Steve Jones, who makes the art.
Yep.
Hey, I just put it all together and sell it. That's all I do.
The common
Favorite glue
denominator
gun.
there for you is the publishers. Like, don't sell yourself short. If it wasn't for the publishers, none of the other stuff will get put together and produced. So, you have your part in it as well, for sure. And it's the formation of the structure. All those pieces come in, you put it in one spot and put it out to the public. So don't sell yourself short, is what I'm saying. Anyhow, thanks. I'll move on to the next one, Luke. We'll see you at the end of the show. Or soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. So we only have one more category before we move on to the big one of the night. So this one is best original game. And that's a little bit, it's hard to determine. Like, you guys come up with these nominations, and I want to tell you what my perception of the best original game is first. I want to know if it's the same as yours, Chris. Mm-hmm. It's a game that's original can still be inspired by an existing work, but it can't be a direct port or remaster. Okay. It's like, to put an example of that, Pitfall 2, there was a Pitfall 2 for the Atari. So that's a port. It's a conversion, but we know Rev has already announced that coming sometime. He's talked a lot about it in my streams. Pitfall 3 is coming. And to me, that's an original because there never was a Pitfall 3.
Well, there's the Atari 5200 kind of.
Oh, was there?
Well, he'll tell you.
Whatever.
Yeah, there's more to it.
That would be, even though it's inspired by another game, that would be an original.
It's a great example is the one here above my finger, the yellow boxes, the tan boxes right there. That's Christmas Carol.
Yes.
DZJ started programming Pac-Man, and Pac-Man morphed into that game. So it was inspired by Pac-Man. It's a maze game where you're collecting dots, but they're presents. And there was obviously elements that were similar, ghosts, for example. But yeah, we considered that an original. There's some games that are just flat out original, but inspired by, without being a port, is sort of where we kind of, it's a bit of a gray line, but that's the line we drew. And again, this is to have fun. Let's not get too caught up in semantics. At some point, people will get pissed off, and they're just going to have to live with that. Life will go on. No one will die.
Right on. All right. So let's go on. Let's see who won for best original game. Congratulations once again to William Muller and Electronite, and to programmers Carlos Madruga and Arturo Ragazzini for this amazing game. Well, welcome Carlos back into the stream. Here we go. There's the button.
Hi, guys.
Congratulations, Carlos.
Hey, thank you so much. It's
Good job.
exciting.
Do you have
Thank you.
9 games in that category, or?
I don't know, but just wanted to say I'm representing Arturo here as well. We did a great job on this game. He lives in Italy, so it's like almost 4 a.m. for him now, so he couldn't participate. But yeah, so I just want to, on behalf of him as well, thank the community, thank the committee for nominating the game, and thanking the community for the votes. A lot of effort went into this game, and it did have a game from the C64, Project Firestart, as an inspiration. So we started thinking about this game as a possible port, but the reality is that it's just not feasible on the platform. And we wanted to, at one point, to tell a different story, right? So that's where the original elements started to come into play. So the story is different. When you walk around the ship, you access the terminals, you see different messages, the characters are different. So and the game also started branching out into different endings, right? So it kind of took on a different personality as we developed it, and so I'm glad with the outcome. And to think that back in 2020, we were all trying to squeeze this game into the contest rules, right? Without a JLP. I can't believe how we did that because it's so complex, right? But
it really is.
But then when we got the JLP boards, we were able to get closer to the original vision, right? So really, really glad to see this recognition and appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Let's look at the vote for that. I didn't look at the vote for the ports. I forgot that. We'll look at that afterwards. We'll look at the original games first, the different votes.
Come on,
there you
Pete.
go. Huh?
Come on, man.
Oh, I know. I was just slacking,
Like working with Rick Reynolds all over again. Jeez.
Oh, now. Come on.
You're not that bad. Never mind.
Pandora 21, pretty solid, but really good representation from those other great games as well. Operation Cloudfire, Star Mercenary Infiltrator, and Castle of Death. So that's awesome. We'll take a quick look at the ports while I'm right there on the screen to see where that was. Beachhead was the winner, and the other votes were about the same as the original when you look at it. The way they were broken down with Beachhead 21, Pitfall 2, 14, and Vanguard right there with 11 as well. Penguin Land and 3 Intellivision collector titles there. They're all really well represented. Great games. E.T. the Extraterrestrial, which I'm looking forward to playing myself actually because I didn't mind it back in the Atari days. But anyway, hide that up again. Thank you again, Carlos. I'll let you go to the back. Hey, Roger, good to see you, Roger. Member of my channel as well. Nice to be here. Psycho Stormtrooper himself. And let's go to the back. We'll talk to you in a bit when we're done, Carlos. There.
Are they eating pizza back there? Because I'm getting hungry, if I'm being honest.
Do I have any pizza? They have pizza back in the green room. Yeah,
in the green room.
I always feed the well in the green room.
Starving.
Yeah. There's also free beer. So it's a keg. I put a keg in.
I should have got a Sleeman's for this.
Okay, guys, now it's time for the big one, the 2022 Homebrew Game of the Year. And it's kind of neat. I don't know if you've been keeping track or not, but we had 7 categories go so far. And there's been, because of the time, we've had 8 winners. But there have been 7 different games win awards up to this point, which is different. Last year, we had 6 categories, 2 winners, 3 each. This year, we have 7 different ones so far, so it's really pretty amazing. It just goes to show the overall quality of all the games that were out this year, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. That's part of why our job was tough, and why, quite honestly, getting back to it, why it took so bloody long to get the nominations released. It was taking us so long. First of all, most of the games came out in the 4th quarter, really. Yeah, right. So it was tough to even get our hands on them. I mean, watch videos, that's fine, but to play them, to make your final decision. And it just took a while to slog through them versus if games had been released evenly throughout the year, might have been a little easier to do this, but it was a lot. It wasn't like we had, you got 4 games, figure it out. You got an hour. No, it was a lot more than that. So
for sure. So once again, congratulations to all the publishers and programmers. These games are absolutely amazing. And frankly, like I say, with 7 different winners, this one is anyone's guess. But we'll move it on now. Stop guessing.
Hotel Bunny 2.
Huh?
I was just calling Hotel Bunny 2 early.
Oh, Hotel Bunny 2. Here is the winner for the 2022 Game of the Year. Find the right video. There it is. Here we go. Congratulations once again to Electro Knight's William Muller, and congratulations to Carlos Madruga and Arturo Ragazzini, who are the programmers for the 2022 Intellivision Homebrew Game of the Year, the Pandora Incident. And also, of course, Justin, who's still in the background. So let's bring these guys in. We'll bring in Carlos, and we'll bring in Justin. And who just popped in there? And Aiden's back there again. Let's see. I got to change my screen here. Congratulations, you guys, for being involved with the Game of the Year.
Thank you. I'm really blown away. Didn't expect that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. That's awesome.
You know, it's interesting, right, Justin? Remember back when we were putting the game together back in 2020? On my side, it was the first time I collaborated on a game. And I started programming television games back in 19, right? So 1 year in, I was already competing and trying to work in a team, which is, you know, it may seem like it may make things easier, but it doesn't really, right? Because you've got to understand who's doing what and all that. So I'll be honest, I was very nervous back then. Am I going to screw this up and all that, right? Because I was seeing the quality of the work you were doing, and Adam as well. I mean, all the music was putting together. Sure. I was getting very nervous, right? And Arturo, man, Arturo's not here, but he's a master programmer. You know, he did things that I never knew we could do, you know, on an Intellivision game. So I learned so much through that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see us here now receiving this, right? Really, I mean, going against like Kai Magazine, and you know, it's just amazing.
So what I'm getting when you talk about collaborating between the 3-4 of you, really, did you feel it was something special with this game right when you're working on it?
Yeah.
Like, go ahead, Justin.
Well, what I found was that, you know, bringing the four of us together, the more we sort of got into it, the more ambitious it became.
Yeah.
Because it was like, you know, we tried not to go too big, and then like Arturo really was able to help get the size down, and like we sort of had what we thought was the game, and then managed for the Inti Basic contest, then we managed to squeeze so much more in and go back and forth, and it just, like, I didn't expect it to ever be as big as that version, let alone the version that we did after the contest and when it being published.
Wow.
So Salvatore is mentioning the bloodiest game of the year, right? I mean, that was a kind of a risk factor, right? We were putting the game together, and it's pretty violent, pretty bloody, right? And I don't remember seeing a game like that on the Television. So we weren't sure how it was going to be received, right?
You have your answer now.
I guess more blood is the answer, right? So
The more cowbell you need, it's more blood that you need.
More blood.
Your audience certainly wasn't good. You know, it's the people playing these games are the older generations anyway, who just were looking for something different that sort of fit right in, I guess.
Yeah.
I know it was amazing. People love watching the streams too. When you stream it, when you do videos on it or whatever, like people just are drawn to that game. It's so cinematic and so interesting to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I also wanted to remember and thank the Atari Age community back when we were developing this game, back in the contest. We got so much good feedback, you know, like folks like DZJ and others really helped us raise the bar, and they gave us so many good ideas. Right, they helped everything: gameplay, graphics, you know. So it takes a village, right? So
yeah, there you go.
Appreciate all the contributions.
And obviously, you guys work together amazing to get this result. Just so much fun to play. Let's take a look at the vote overall. Find it on my screen here. There it is. Here's the voting. It was pretty close. But again, I'm going to attribute that right back to the fact that there were so blessed many great games this year. I mean, all 9 of those titles right there, to vote for 9 different titles, they all got votes. So, wow. It's a good time to be an Intellivision homebrew collector, homebrew Intellivision fan, I would say. With thanks to you guys in the community who put that all together. So, overall, just Incredible. And thank you all so much. And congratulations once again for making such a fantastic game. Still got Luke in the back. Let's bring Luke into the stream here too. And we'll start wrapping up. What do you got to say, Chris? Any comments?
I think Luke was just watering his plant there. To the three of you, again, congrats. It was a phenomenal game. I remember seeing the videos early on, and actually even back from that, I think you showed maybe some screenshots initially, and it just looked like something we hadn't seen on the system before, and it ended up playing out that way. So, congrats, awesome game, and you guys won in a year that was really hard to win in, because you could make an argument for the other 8 games in that category quite easily, I think. So, particularly 3 or 4 of them. So, congrats.
Thank you. Appreciate
watching the chat, watching my notes, and listening to you guys, what you have to say and everything. I'm really thankful.
Sorry, one other quick
into the stream. Yeah.
Sorry, John. One other quick thought. I'm wondering.
Oh, apparently he was wondering what he was going to do. There he is.
Sorry, the phone started ringing. I'm on my iPhone at the moment, clearly. With the way the level of programming has kind of gone through the roof, with much better music, much better graphics, etc. as well. I 2 things. I think there's some great programmers that are now programming on the Intellivision. I think it's really raised the bar quite a bit, and it feels like, because there's a lot of collaboration, you guys are all helping each other. But I think there's probably an element of competition. That's the point of these fun things, where people want to come up with something even better and better and better. There are new programmers coming into it as well. And I want to make super clear to folks that are like, oh, geez, I don't know if I was thinking about maybe programming for the Intellivision, but now I don't want to because holy crap. No, get in there and program your games. I've said this a couple times. Some of my favorite games of the, not just the 125, but of the 250 something or whatever we're at now, if you add them together, are games that are not like this. They're just fun. Make your game fun. It doesn't matter that's maybe it won't win Game of the Year, but if it's fun, people are going to play it, and word will get out, and your game will sell, and people will be exposed to it. So congrats to you guys, but we want more folks programming for this system,
for sure.
And there's a learning curve to it.
Yep, absolutely there is.
But I think we have a community that has what's that?
For Luke's an idiot. Carry on, Charlie.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, we have a community that has a certain size now that allows for specialization, right? So we have like Adam, we have Justin, and we also have like Carlson, who's really great with music as well. So for anyone trying to learn and develop new games, you don't need to do it alone, right? I think asking for help and accepting contributions, everybody is trying to help everyone, right? So there's a degree of competition, I think, but it's friendly, right?
Yeah.
So it feels good. So I would say for anyone considering making new games or starting, just reach out. Like Sergio just had the announcement about XR Leap, and myself and Arturo have been in contact with Sergio about that game for a while, and that's the way it goes. And I'm very appreciative of all the help I got as well as I learned how to program.
Yeah, I think someone in Adam's family has done an awful lot in terms of creating NT Basic. You haven't mentioned Oscar, I don't think, today, but should.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, he put something in place that I think has made it, programming for the Intellivision far more accessible for folks to at least get started. And then they've got lots of experts that they can lean on and ask questions to. And you see a lot of that, right? And it's great when you see it. And I'm, quality of folks' games is certainly going to go up over time as they learn more about programming and get help from people that, have done a lot of the heavy lifting already and kind of know what the system can do. So congrats to you guys kudos to you guys for helping out folks that are entering this system programming for it.
Yeah, no, but you're completely right, Seymour. We are standing on the shoulders of giants here, right? So we are living the culmination of years and years of development of, right, Joe Z, and right, Oscar. I mean, they developed a lot of tools, right, that enable the current games to be produced. And I would not be programming Intellivision nowadays if it wasn't for NT Basic. I'll tell you. Many years ago, like more than 15 years ago, I did some fumbling around with assembly,
Yeah.
But no way we could do what we do without Into Basic. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
Well noted.
So true. So true. Well, guys, that is, let's see. I was supposed to do this right here. Congratulations once again to all the winners, all you guys here tonight, and winning awards, putting out amazing games, and not only to you guys, but to all the nominees tonight, because their contributions, not only the nominees, even the guys who worked and didn't get nominations but put out games this year, whether they were nominated at the end of the day or not, thank you to them, because every single one of them has, when they worked on any aspect of a game this year, they contributed to this homebrew community. And it's because of all these people that the community is so strong today. Before we sign off, I want to thank Jeff. Jeff, you always come on here for me and man the chat and take care of things like that. We're trying to do things like that because I miss so much of the chat. I like going back and reading the chat afterwards because there's so much that I missed. And I also want to give a very special thank you to C-Mart, Chris, for not only joining me here tonight, but for bringing your huge and, like I said earlier, the Intellivisionaries knowledge into the stream, but for being brave enough to be one of those 5 people tasked with setting the categories and having to choose these nominees, because you're always hearing complaints of a thankless job, and I just want to let you know how appreciated the work that the 5 of you did, how appreciated it is. So thank you.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. I'm glad we did it. Carlos may have prodded us and encouraged us he wanted to step away and have someone else do it.
Yeah.
And we're happy to do it. But other than the herding cats part. So thank you to Carlos for making us do that.
Cheers, C-Mart. Cheers to you. And you led me in perfectly, man, because my next thing is Carlos. You're a guy who deserves so much of our appreciation because you reinvigorated this award show last year, and you stayed in the background this year because I know it's a little hard to be a programmer and have your games in it and trying to sort of help organize the awards and such too. But you do an absolutely amazing job. And I'm going to say right now, I dare say, without the work that you still put into it, trying to keep us organized, we probably wouldn't be here tonight doing this award show. So
we would not.
No, you guys are not being fair. You guys do a lot of the heavy lifting. You put a lot into these programs and videos. So really appreciate that. And C-Mart and the committee, right? They spend a lot of time to get to this point. So it's really a joint effort here. So you guys deserve a lot of credit too. And plus, I mean, a lot of the folks here, right, connected now, like I'm looking at Luke and other publishers, right? You guys also help make the scene what it is. So that's why we can be here together and commemorate. Right?
On.
It's fun, right? I mean, the whole point of this thing is to celebrate how fun it is that a bunch of us can nerd out with our favorite console 40 years after the fact that it came out, right? And it's awesome. And that's what it should be about. All of you guys, not just those of you on screen, because I know some of you have gone before, go to PRG and meet us in person and laugh with us if you can, because it's a lot of fun. Everyone should be doing it.
Finally, the last thing I want to say is thank you to all you guys who are out there watching, because it's you Intellivision fans, whether you play it, collect it, like to read the info on it, or want to like watching the videos, whatever it is. Thank you not only for being with us here tonight, but thank you for keeping this damn near 45-year-old system alive with all the things you do. So thank you so much, viewers and everybody who joined us in the chat tonight. Well, that is it for this year, guys. You guys don't go anywhere. I got a video to play to lead us out, and we will just stay here for a few minutes. So don't leave, please, if you can. Just be a couple minutes. And everybody in the chat, thanks once again for being there. Take care, and we will see you next year. Take care.
Bye.
Than baseball fans to compare baseball games. First, Atari home run baseball.
Where's the diamond?
Hey, there's only 4 players. Now, Intellivision Major League Baseball. What'd you think?
He's out by a mile. Out by a mile.
Intellivision baseball. I think it's the closest thing to the real thing.
Tore out my heart without anesthesia. Behavior that's hard to defend. How could you put me in this position? I really miss my...
Magic experts have just created 4 new games for the Intellivision system. But beware, Imagic's demon attack will destroy you. Atlantis will send you to a watery grave. Microsurgeon will put you in the hospital. And Beauty and the Beast will push you right over the edge. Imagic for Intellivision, created by...
Nothing to do with my hands.
I've been comparing the exciting new Intellivision space game Star Strike with one of the most popular Atari games, Asteroid. Star Strike has moving images that make the game appear three-dimensional. Asteroids doesn't. And Star Strike features our most exciting visual effect, the total destruction of a planet. This is what the other game offers, which is why, after Star Strike, Asteroids left me rather flat. Star Strike, new for Intellivision from Mattel Electronics.
I cannot stand it. This indecision.
Not every great movie or great arcade game makes a great home video game. That's why when Mattel Electronics turned Tron into Tron Home Video Games, we made sure the excitement of Tron gameplay found its way into your home. You'll know it the moment you square off against a recognizer, if you last that long. 4 great Tron games, 2 for Intellivision, 2 for Atari 2600. From Mattel Electronics. Games as good as we say they are, maybe better.
Intellivision. I want my Intellivision. I want my...
Thank you so much for joining me tonight, taking time to watch these 2 great award shows we put on. Hopefully we'll be back next year with another one. A lot of fun doing these. There's so many fantastic games in the Intellivision homebrew community now. So many more and more games we put out every year. What was it? 25 one year, 27 the next. And 2023, you've probably seen some videos come out. The Casey and I release that listed off all the different releases just at PRGE for Intellivision Revolution. Intellivision Collector has games coming out. Electronite has games coming out. Homebrew Inc. has had lots of games this year. Man, it's just a fantastic Intelligent Vision. Oh my God, so many Intelligent Vision games too. But it's just been a bumper crop year again for Intellivision homebrew games, and the 2023 awards are going to be just as much fun and just as much of a challenge for the committee who has to pick the nominees and the winners. Anyway, guys, once again, thanks a lot for joining me here tonight. I'll be back with a regular stream next Tuesday night, and we will see you then. Take care.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you haven't,
You're watching Papa Pete, the old guy gamer.